Good morning, President Mather and members of the board. Today, I'm going to highlight some of the important work that's been before you this week and give you an update on outreach activities with stakeholder groups, and then finish with some special recognition for our CalPERS team. Yesterday, the Pension and Health Benefits Committee was presented with the preliminary health rates or premiums for 2019. Although they represent months of negotiations that we've been having with the health plans, and it also represents, I think, the work that we've been doing to hold down cost while still being able to provide high-quality care options for our members. It's important to emphasize that these are preliminary health premiums and that we still have another month of work and negotiations with the plans before we come back to you with the final rates in June. What you saw yesterday includes new PPO program offerings, including the new value-based design plan, as well as such programs as Spine Zone and the Wisdom Study for breast cancer detection. Both programs will help our members take charge of their health in a more proactive manner. And I'd like to thank the committee for your remarks and your direction to us and the health plans to continue to sit at the table, sharpen the pencils, and come back to us with the best rates possible in June. We will take your feedback and, again, take those into the next round of talks with the health plans and bring back the final premiums for 2019 next month. Moving on to the fiscal year budget, one of this month's important action items is the approval of the 2018-19 fiscal year budget. And I want to emphasize again that this budget represents our team's efforts to hold the line on cost and to manage our resources as efficiently as possible. And as one example, we are not requesting to add any new positions for the second year. As additional personnel needs arise, we will rely instead on our enterprise pooling concept that we put in place to determine where our resources are needed most. And those decisions are being informed by our new enterprise performance management system. Also, through the implementation of lean processes and lean management, which we're adopting throughout the organization, we are finding ways to be more efficient and streamline our processes whenever possible. And this is some work that we'll be able to share with you in the July offsite, and I know the team is really excited to give you some insight into that program and the results that we've been able to accomplish so far. Shifting focus now to engagement activities with our stakeholders, I think one of the most important aspects of this job is to get out and talk with the people who have interest in what we're doing here at CalPERS. And so I've been meeting with member groups, employer groups, and a number of legislative representatives as well. I've been spending quite a bit of time at the Capitol, meeting regularly with legislators who, again, have a strong interest in what we're doing here. I'm also sharing the new report that we created, the Solid Foundation for the Future, and that has been very well received. And I've also heard some creative ideas from legislators about other measures that we should be looking at, and also have answered questions about the employee and the employer cost. Obviously, that is one of the concerns that we hear represented from our employer partners who come before this board. I think these are valuable conversations that go a long way toward building not only important relationships, but also trust, and I do plan to continue them. Tomorrow, I'll be speaking before the Policy Committee of the California State Association of Counties, and those members are visiting Sacramento for their annual Legislative Day Conference. Then the following week, I'll have a chance to address the 200 members of the California Special Districts Association, and they too will be in Sacramento for their Legislative Day. We have a number of additional speaking engagements on the calendar throughout the summer and into the fall, and I look forward again to meeting with more and more stakeholder groups and working to enhance our partnership. So now on to some CalPERS-centric activities, starting with the participation of CalPERS team members in last month's March of Dimes for Babies and the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure, which was held over the past, this past weekend. These are two very important events for the employees here at CalPERS. They are devoted to these charities and spend a lot of their personal time supporting them. They have a long tradition here at CalPERS. On another note, I'd like to talk about the CalPERS Apex Awards, which will be handed out next week to this year's class of 29 recipients. The APEX Award is our highest form of team member recognition. It stands for Achieving Performance Excellence. It honors our employees who go above and beyond in their daily work, who live our core values and display a commitment to CalPERS' overall success. Recipients are nominated by their coworkers. This is not a management award. This is a coworker award. And they have devoted an extensive amount of time to preparing the nomination packages. Many of these nomination packages are 10 to 20 pages long to illustrate the importance of the work that these team members are doing. This year's class of APEX recipients are here with us today in the auditorium, and I'd like to take a moment now to celebrate their accomplishments and ask them all to stand. So congratulations. I think these are wonderful role models for all of our team members here at CalPERS. Moving on to investment performance year to date. But before I do that, I'd like to emphasize that our investment returns are the key to the success of this organization in the long run. We know that the changes to the discount rate and the amortization policy have challenged our employers, and you have certainly been hearing that from the employer groups as well. As we work to increase our investment returns and take pressure off of our employers, we're concentrating on total return investing and investment performance, always being mindful of risk. This allows us to take full advantage of the financial markets as we focus our efforts on achieving our annual rate of return. So the total fiscal year-to-date performance is 7.9, and these are numbers effective as of March 31st. The rolling one-year return of the fund is 11.1. The 3-year return is 6.9. The 5-year return is 8. The 10-year return is 5.4. And the 20-year return is 6.2. And then finally, I'd like to close by highlighting Public Service Recognition Week, which took place last week, but which we really do celebrate all year long. Public Service Recognition Week is a celebration of civil servants that also helps connect citizens with their government. Events were organized throughout the state and supported by several of our sister agencies, including CalHR, Government Operations, and Health and Human Services. We also took time to recognize our team members here at CalPERS and in our West Sacramento and regional offices. It's something that we've been recognizing with videos featuring a variety of California's public servants on our social media channels this year. We call this effort We Serve California, and each short video features a public servant telling the story of why public service matters to them. To honor the observance, we put together a compilation of these stories, which I'd like to show you now.
I was raised that you are a public servant, that you give back to your community, that you support your families and your children. This is the job that lets me take all of those pieces and do the most wonderful things for families. And there really aren't even words to talk about how incredibly fulfilling that is, that every day you go to work knowing I am going to make a difference.
To me, it's still fascinating that a truck can pick up a garbage can and dump it and put it back down. I'm controlling that, and it's something that I wanted to do for a while, and thankful that I'm able to do it now.
You know, I never even knew what public service was. I kind of fell into it. And I think what happened was that I fell in love with serving the public. I fell in love with being accountable for everything that I do.
My daily work is basically articulated to the public in the services that they get every day, whether it's a police officer that shows up to a call, whether it's a firefighter that shows up to a fire, whether it's a public works individual that's actually paving their street. All of that is funded by taxpayers. And being able to really align those services across the spectrum of services that an organization like a city provides is very important.
We go into play whenever there's a big disaster, putting in 12-hour days, trying to help the people of California.
And a library is a perfect example of what the height of public service, I believe.
We have our fundamental core services. We check books in and out. But other than that, it's all about what our community wants us to do.
The customers of the Alameda County Water District put their trust in us. They have other things to worry about. They want water to come out of the tap 24/7. They want it to be safe. So although we're not necessarily on people's minds all the time, we know what we do is important and it's critical and our customers depend on it, and that's how we get joy out of coming to work every day.
I didn't realize what public service was about until I was inside. And what I realized is that public service is about making sure that everything is running smoothly. Everything goes unnoticed.
I think what I do enables people to live their lives the way they want to live them. And I'm behind the scenes. I don't have to have a big hurrah, hurrah, or thank you very much. As a servant, you're not looking for that. You're looking to just make people's lives better.
In the realm of finance, which is my background, you have to be very careful with the taxpayer dollars. And being able to have that responsibility for me is huge. I enjoy that responsibility, and I take it very seriously. And I want to make sure that I'm being as transparent as possible to the public in how those dollars are being spent.
I try to do a good job because I feel that they're customers that need good service, and that's what I try to do. And I try to talk to them, let them know that I'm not just a guy in the truck picking up garbage. I'm still a person and have likes and dislikes also.
Going home every night and knowing that you've made that difference or have the potential to make that difference, and that you can basically do the work that other people shouldn't have to do is it's pretty rewarding.
So I think this is a good illustration of the passion we have here at CalPERS about serving our members, and we know it is the reason we exist. So that concludes my remarks, and I would be happy to take any questions.